At least 69 people have been killed in an attack by rebel fighters in northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Security officials say fighters from the Codeco armed group carried out the attack in Ituri province at the end of last month. Officials say insecurity in the area delayed the recovery of bodies for several days. Now, the region has been gripped by years of deadly violence between several armed groups competing for both land and resources. Rebel fighters control large parts of the east of the country, including the biggest city, Goma, which is in the hands of the Rwandan-backed M23 group. We're also getting reports of attacks carried out in the last few days by another group, the Allied Democratic Forces, also known as the ADF. Let's get more on all this. We can speak to Rageh. She's a senior crisis advisor for Amnesty International. She joins us live from New York. Many thanks for joining the program. So, Rawya, as I said, there are numerous armed groups operating in eastern DRC. Tell us firstly about this group Codeco, who are behind this attack in Ituri province.
The Cooperative for the Development of Congo, or Codeco, is one of many armed groups operating in northeast DRC, specifically in Ituri province. This particular group maintains that it is acting to protect the interests of the Lindu ethnic community, which is a primarily farming community, vis-a-vis the Hima pastoral community. At the heart of the issue between these two sides is access to resources, namely access to the benefits of Ituri's gold mines.
There are also reports that the ISIS-linked group, the ADF, has also killed dozens of people near the Ugandan border in recent days. What is driving this latest surge in violence, and how vulnerable are civilians right now?
We at Amnesty International have just published a detailed report about the abuses by the ADF. The ADF has been operating in the area for years. We've seen them particularly intensify their attacks over the past few months and years. Since January 2025, as you've mentioned, M23 have also intensified their attacks. And after they've overtaken Goma, we've seen troops divert to face that particular group. And with the diversion of troops, with the diversion of international attention, the ADF has capitalized on security gaps to expand their attacks on civilians. These attacks are to restock food, supplies, medicine, but also specifically in retaliation against military operations. And we have seen military operations by the Congolese military and its partner, the Ugandan military, in the past few weeks against ADF. And so this kind of escalation we see often is in retaliation to these military operations, such as the one that happened around 3 weeks ago, in which the military was able to release up to 200 civilians that were abducted and held against their will in one of the ADF camps in the vast forests.
So how much of this crisis now is about the weak state control that we're seeing? Why are the Congolese authorities failing to protect civilians like this?
There are multiple challenges facing the Congolese authorities. Eastern DRC is a vast area. There are multiple competing actors, as we've mentioned, M23, ADF, Codeco. With a group like ADF, for example, as I said, they capitalize on security gaps, and then most of the forces are overstretched responding to the threat by M23. And it is a triple canopy forest area. These groups employ asymmetrical tactics in their fighting. But it has to be said that we do expect more from the security forces. For example, in particularly the confrontations with ADF, we see entire areas that are emptied of troops that have been diverted to other front lines, leaving civilians completely vulnerable to groups like ADF and other armed groups. So what we would like to see is collaboration between security forces, communities, and the UN, for example, to improve early warning mechanisms. And also, you have to look at the situation in a comprehensive manner, and you have to look at how you respond to the community's needs and at the issues at the heart and at the root of these multiple collaborating or rather conflicting crises.
Rawya, thank you for speaking to us. Rageh, Senior Crisis Advisor for Amnesty International, joining us there from New York.